It is September 22nd, 2024, 2:47 a.m., Roseville, California. The streets are completely empty. Not a single car. Not a single person. Just silence. Then headlights. A dark car rolls slowly down the street. No rush, no panic. Just a calm, steady crawl. It stops outside a Golden One credit union. 4 doors open. 4 figures step out. But something is wrong. These are not robbers in ski masks. These are not desperate criminals with guns. These are construction workers. Hard hats, safety vests, work boots, tool bags in hand. They walk toward the ATM slowly, casually, like men who have done this 1,000 times. Because they have. One of them reaches into his bag, pulls out a small device, presses a button. Every cell phone within 50 meters goes dead. No calls, no texts, no silent alarms. Complete. Digital. Silence. Then comes the blowtorch. 22 minutes later, the car is gone. The street is empty again. And the ATM has been completely hollowed out. This was not their first time. This was not their 10th time. This was robbery number 23 of 29. And nobody, not one single person, even knew they existed. The ghost crew, how 11 people vanished into America and stole $5.5 million. Let me ask you something. If you were going to rob a bank, what would you need? A gun? Maybe. A mask, obviously. A getaway car? Sure. Now what if I told you the most sophisticated bank robbery crew in American history used none of those things? No guns, no dramatic masks, no high-speed chases. Instead, they used hard hats, safety vests, blowtorches, and technology so advanced it could silence an entire city block with the press of a button. They called themselves nothing. They had no gang name, no logo, no territory. But the FBI had a name for them, the South American Theft Group. And by the time anyone knew who they were, they had already disappeared into the streets of California. 29 times, this is their story. From the very first robbery to the moment the FBI finally closed in. And trust me, the way this ends, you will not see it coming. To understand this story, you first need to understand who these people were. They were not career criminals from Hollywood movies. They were not hardened gangsters with tattoos and prison records. They were ordinary people from ordinary neighborhoods in a country 8,000 miles away. Chile. Meet Alex Moyano Morales, 24 years old, from Santiago, Chile, the youngest leader this crew ever had. Maite Chile Silva, 27 years old, also from Chile. Her job, she was the planner, the one who rented the Airbnbs, the one who scouted the targets, the one who made sure every single detail was perfect. Rosa Bastia Serra, 42 years old, the oldest member of the crew, a mother, a grandmother, also apparently a bank robber. 11 people, from Chile, from Peru, from Venezuela, different ages, different backgrounds, one single mission. And they had a system so perfect, so calculated, that it would take the FBI 6 months to crack it. Here is how the ghost crew operated, step by step, and I need you to pay attention. Because what these people did was genuinely genius. Step 1, the scout. Before every single robbery, days before, sometimes weeks, a small team would visit the target location, dressed as normal civilians, acting like customers, walking past ATMs, looking at angles, studying security cameras, noting patrol schedules. They were looking for one thing: vulnerability. Step 2, the Airbnb. Once the target was chosen, Maite Celis Silva would rent a vacation property nearby, not a hotel, too many cameras, not their own home, too risky. An Airbnb, clean, anonymous, temporary. Step 3, the car. They never used their own vehicles. They never rented officially. That leaves paper trails. Instead, they rented cars on the black market. Ghost vehicles. No records. No names, no traces. Step 4, the disguise. This is where it gets brilliant. Every single robbery, same disguise. Construction workers. Yellow safety vests, hard hats, COVID-style masks, work boots, tool bags. Think about it. When you see construction workers outside a bank at 3 a.m., what do you think? They must be doing maintenance work. Nobody calls the police. On a construction crew. Nobody even looks twice. Genius. Step 5, the jammer. Before touching anything, before a single tool came out, one member of the crew would activate a cell phone jammer, a device that blocks all phone signals within a certain radius. No calls out, no alerts sent, no silent alarms triggered. Through phone networks, complete digital blackout. Step 6, the blowtorch. Once the area was digitally dark, the real work began. Industrial blowtorches, angle grinders, saws, power tools that could cut through reinforced steel like paper. ATM doors gone in minutes, vault walls gone in minutes, even neighboring business walls gone in minutes. Step 7, the vanish. Once the cash was taken, not running, they were gone. Not panicking, just walking away, calmly, professionally, like men who just finished a job. Because to them, that is exactly what it was. 29 times. This exact system, 29 times. And it worked. Every single time. Let me take you through some of the most shocking moments from their 5-month crime spree. Auburn, California. A quiet suburban city. Population just over 80,000. Not the kind of place you expect organized crime. But the ghost crew did not care about expectations. They walked up to a local ATM. Jammer on, blowtorch out. 20 minutes later, $30,000 gone. $226,000 from one ATM in one night. In a quiet suburban city. Then Modesto, California. Their target was a Wells Fargo ATM, but the ATM was inside the building. Not accessible from outside. A normal criminal would walk away. The ghost crew looked at the building next door, a pet spa, while some members of the crew walked into the pet spa, pretending to be customers, distracting the employees. Other members outside were spray painting over every single security camera on the building exterior. And then, while all of that was happening, a third group started drilling. They drilled directly through the wall of the pet spa into the Wells Fargo next door to reach the ATMs. Through the wall, Fall River Mills, California. Population just over 900 people, a tiny mountain town in Northern California. The ghost crew drove hours to reach this location. Why? Because small towns mean less security, less police, slower response times. They broke into Tri-County's bank, used blowtorches, saws, and power tools to access interior vaults. But this time something went wrong. They were interrupted. Someone saw them. For the first time, the ghost crew panicked. They dropped their tools, left everything behind, and ran. It was the first mistake they had ever made, and it would cost them everything. May 2024, FBI Field Office, Fresno, California. A robbery report comes in. ATM broken into. Cash stolen. Construction crew disguises. Cell phone jammer suspected. The agent files it. Moves on. June 2024. Another report. Different city. Different ATM. Same disguise. Same jammer. Same style. July 2024. 3 more reports. Different cities. Same everything. Now the FBI is paying attention because what they are looking at is not random. This is not opportunistic crime. This is a system, an operation, a business. The FBI pulled every piece of footage, every report, every witness statement, and slowly, very slowly, a picture started forming. The same construction vests, the same body language, the same techniques, the same tools. And in the surveillance footage, something else. Airbnb addresses, seen in the background of footage, street signs, building numbers. The FBI started cross-referencing vacation rental records near every crime scene. And then at a rental property in Oregon, they found it. Hundreds of pounds of tools, blowtorches, angle grinders, saws, dozens of construction disguises, multiple fake identification documents, and over $100,000 in cash, sitting in bags. In a normal-looking Airbnb on a quiet residential street, the ghost crew was about to become very real. October 2024, FBI has enough. Simultaneously, in 2 different states, at the exact same moment, teams move in. In Washington State, FBI raids multiple addresses. Valdez, Sepulveda, Bastias, Da Costa, Alarcon, Parada, Lagos, Jimenez. 8 arrests in one night. In Los Angeles, 3 more, Moyano, Celis, Osorio, arrested at a home in Greater Los Angeles. 11 people, arrested across 2 states, on the same night, in the same hour. The ghost crew was gone. Federal court, Fresno, California. One by one, the charges were read. Conspiracy to commit bank robbery. Bank robbery, 29 counts. Maite Silva, the planner, the Airbnb booker, the woman who made it all possible, pleaded guilty. She admitted to being involved in heists, totaling over $5.5 million. She faces 20 years in federal prison. The other 10, still awaiting trial, still facing charges, still looking at decades behind American prison walls, far from home. U.S. Attorney Philip Talbert said it best. This crew used some of the most sophisticated tactics we have ever seen in bank robbery cases. And he was right. Because this was not desperation. This was not addiction. This was not poverty. This was a business. A calculated, organized, international criminal business. That operated for 5 months, across 3 American states, before anyone even knew their names. Here is what I want you to think about. 11 people, from another country, speaking a different language, in cities they had never been to, and yet they walked into 29 American banks and ATMs, and walked out with millions, not because they were lucky, not because the banks were weak, but because they were patient, disciplined, calculated. They had a system, and they trusted it. Until the one night, they left their tools behind. One mistake, one abandoned blowtorch, one dropped saw. In a tiny mountain town, with 900 people, that is all it took. The FBI always finds the thread. No matter how invisible you think you are, no matter how perfect your system, there is always one thread. And when they pull it, everything unravels. If you want more stories of people who were brilliant, but not brilliant enough, subscribe to Almost Got Away, because the best stories are always the ones that end almost.